My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. (1614297). That's the Ontario Police Group Stalking. You can see the fake sun through the front of the windshield at the intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. That's the same intersection where I was present as I documented the fake sun through the back windshield of the same vehicle at the same intersection. This is what I just documented the other day, and that's exactly what I stated. I had documented the same conduct of the light source in alignment with me, where the Ontario Police are group stalking, where I'm inside of the same exact vehicle. It's currently 8:19 a.m. in the morning, however, where I'm capturing that light source, speaking to the P.O.C. and the same police department that is group stalking. And doing so with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented, and a third party that's engaged in monitoring with the same police department. I'm currently at S.I.I.S Liquor now, where the fake sun's now over the S.I.I.S Liquor, and I'll show you that image as well. This is P.O.C. The entity molesting with directed light while this demon opens and closes the door while she's entering the car. This is the one that's engaging in threatening that the police are going to be called while they're stalking by helicopter to capture. All of the pattern of conduct underway, and it's relevant what minions say while they're engaged in monitoring and doing so with the Ontario Police under the fake sun this morning. Again, it is Wednesday, July 6, 2020. It's 8:20 a.m. This is P.O.C. 8YVY464, also stalking, monitoring at S.I.I.S Liquor. They're also group stalking with the Ontario Police, who are at the red light on traffic cameras, by the way, as this third party with license 4WON432 turns from Euclid Avenue onto Holt Boulevard, and that's where the Ontario Police are turning onto Holt Boulevard in relevant position. You'll see the fake sun right through the windshield of the car, and I captured the fake sun through the same windshield of the car on coming from where the vehicle was parked, which is where the fake moon was over the car last night. That, just like I stated in that video, where the fake moon and the fake sun is over me. Righty, and it's currently, when 4WO1432 drives off directed light like every other demon across S.I.I.S Liquor, a third-party facilitating venue. It's 8:22 a.m. Let me show you the fake sun where she's group stalking with the police. Alrighty, and you're looking at what is that light source? It's directly over the S.I.I.S Liquor. Remember, I'm here at the end of the day. We're talking about after 5 p.m. in the middle of the afternoon. And the fake sun is directly over my head, directly over the same venue, which would be the S.I.I.S Liquor. That's speaking to what's impossible. It's also impossible that sunlight is ricocheting in the shade while what is necessarily a demon that's revealing Tracy Banks's condition while she is monitoring her own flesh and blood. That's just a demon whose name I know. She's doing so in the same exact demonic methods in violation of the same federal law as 6YVY464. Doesn't make a difference that you can identify that particular demon by name, and doing so with the same police department, which is an impermissible threat, while also, again, as she stated last night, making threats, threatening the liberty of one while you're documenting the pattern of conduct, and you're engaged in group stalking, which is exactly what she was doing last night while she's threatening to call the police, or that another minion, a third party with whom she's monitoring, are going to call the police. That's criminal summon. All right, this is the P.O.C. license 6NPW544 at S.I.I.S Liquor. And this is where the fake sun is present right now. It's currently 8:24 a.m. You can hear the starting of an ignition. That's a third party who's on surveillance cameras inside of S.I.I.S Liquor group stalking, monitoring while Tracy Banks drives off and directed light is moving across that S.I.I.S Liquor store, and the fake sun is over it. They're engaged in surveillance, all right? And they're present at the liquor store, maintaining presence with Tracy Banks, a group stalker, okay? Monitoring with the police. It is 8:24 a.m. Okay, 6YVY464 is a demon, and you'll see in the image, she, even as I'm speaking, she just gets in her vehicle, which is crossing path, and she remains present. And she's monitoring while demons are on, this is Hope Boulevard, pacing via traffic. And so I just want to let you know what she's doing. While she's maintaining presence, this is group stalking in plain sight, knows they're being documented. The entity, for example, stalking by helicopter, and they still engage in surveillance sitting in the car, crossing path on the street. That's impunity. They're stalking while you're monitoring. So she's sitting in her vehicle engaged in surveillance, rider crossing path, omnitrans crossing path. And the entity is, as I engage in new movement, my phone is placed in my pocket, and the moment that I touch my phone again, she's already sitting in her car with all the doors closed. She opens and closes her door again, which is a demon stalking with audible activity. All right. This is the demonic conduct of the third parties who are monitoring. 5CLC779, and it's demonic conduct to stalk with audible activity creation. All right. 5CLC779 is a demon that drives up in the same exact conduct as occurring in possible light while they are crossing path. That's exactly what Tracy Banks engaged in. All right, and this is demonic conduct. It's terrorism. Omnitrans vehicle 2358 is a part of the same terrorism. And I'm going to show you this demon that's engaging in that act. Group stalking under the fake sun and touching me with directed light. So I'm going to show you the face of this demon. Alrighty, it is currently 8:26 a.m. This is crossing a path and a sex offender that's touching with directed light. An operation of their communication device, which you can see through the image that I'm capturing. And she's monitoring with Omnitrans, who's loitering in relevant position. Omnitrans is the demon operating nothing other than a commercial vehicle, creating light activity. A sex offender that's touching while 5CLC779 is touching with directed light across the asphalt. Omnitrans is monitoring as well. That's why that impossible occurrence is underway. It's group stalking. And that's the people of the state acting commercially, acting via 5CLC779 monitoring. And they're doing so while the Ontario police are stalking now. Okay? This is called vicarious presence group stalking presence. Under what is that impossible occurrence, which would not be the sun. That is over the Shire Liquor, and then present setting through the window of the same venue as I've captured well after 6 o'clock in the evening. That's not the sun. That would be literally on the same street where Omnitrans is group stalking right now. All right. That's the pattern of conduct. And this is Omnitrans, a company that engages in hiring the demon possessed. They're engaged in state surveillance. They're sex offenders engaging in molestation. As I'm standing outside, it's the P.O.C. on Omnitrans. P.O.C. is a third-party facilitating venue where the entity is keeping a fake sun through the window of those buses. And Omnitrans is nothing other than a company posing an impermissible threat. They like to continuously engage in sexual violence, stalking, and terrorism, while they're also monitoring the documentation of that criminal act. And that's speaking to what the people of the state don't maintain, which is any right to exist as a company while engaging in criminal conduct on behalf of the state, which is what Omnitrans is engaged in, has been documented for a prolonged period. It is currently 8:28 a.m. and that's P.O.C. I want to make sure you understand Omnitrans group stalking at a bus stop, creating light activity under the fake sun. Indirected light is not different than the demons that are sitting in their vehicles in the parking lot. Omnitrans just has a logo on it. So Omnitrans is doing the exact same thing. That's what you need to understand. This is license plate 1545806. Group stalking. That's an African-American female driving that bus. P.O.C. And it's the same exact surveillance conduct, and that's a psychopath that also knows that their criminal conduct, their stalking is being documented, in real time, and they engage in ongoing stalking conduct regardless. It's exactly what you're looking at, and it's not based on some operation of a bus line. That's not what Omnitrans is doing. Omnitrans is group stalking. That's why you capture the environment. It's under a fake sun and indirect light. 5CLC779 is monitoring with Omnitrans. You don't have any form. I've already shown you what's directed light. That's exactly what you're doing. You're using a company to do so. Companies will cease to exist under that evidence when you're prosecuting them civilly and criminally. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. It is, again, currently 8:29 a.m. All right, more notes. It's 8:31 a.m. Immediately as the minion you see in 5CLC779, this is the third party. Also the 6NPW544, the Ontario Police Department sounding helicopter. They're always stalking. Okay. That's what the police are doing. They're stalking. They're group stalking. They're sounding helicopter activity while I'm documenting these third parties who will go to federal prison while they're stalking with the Ontario police. They're threatening with the police while you're documenting them. 5666 OU2. California Clinica Medica, Clinica Medica, California. These demons are lined up in relevant position under a fake sun while the entity is sounding helicopter activity. So I captured that for you. 8UWY 307 71019C2 20961U2. And these demons are monitoring in line at Clinica Medica, California under the fake sun while demons are pacing like this one 5 CLC 779 and Tracy Banks 4WON 432 and the third party with the red vehicle who you see in the image stalking with the maintenance of audible activity as I'm reaching in my pocket, closing the door when the hoe is already sitting in her car with the car door closed. That's a demon stalking with noise as I'm making movement, a psychopath. They're demons monitoring together while they're standing in line, and the Ontario Police Department is stalking by helicopter. Okay, that's P.O.C. Directed light inside of S.I.I.S liquor while this demon that's on surveillance cameras right now enters the parking lot. Ready? This is a overweight Latino male, the license plate 8SDZ433, also on surveillance cameras, group stalking inside of the store while he's driving in the parking lot, and I'm at the register making a purchase on surveillance camera, flashing of directed light inside of the S.I.I.S liquor. It's that's impossible light activity. It's 8:37 a.m. All right, the entity is molesting while these demons are driving a whole boulevard. I'm literally standing in the shade at the entrance, and we've got still a light flashing. This is obsessive stalking by people. This is what the entity was doing all night, as I specified on my podcast. The entity you're talking about is stalking all night. This is not traffic. This is surveillance. It's demonic pacing, 24 hours a day, okay, in a specific environment. 7DFM117 was group stalking all night long, molesting and terrorizing, filling the car with directed light. 6BAR495, the same. 8RMH971, 8YMN076. They were group stalking all night long, flashing directed light, just like it is occurring inside of S.I.I.S liquor, and I'll prosecute them as such. The entity acting 7LUT041, 7CPX834, 7WLE068. That's why not only are they present on behalf of the demons that are the Ontario police who are group stalking, okay, they are present as an entity. So those third parties, again, I have way more than that. I have an entire body of evidence and documenting an entire population, wealth of people, in other words. But like I said, those third parties right there are prosecuted for what the entity was doing all night long, what they're doing right now, which is occurring on a ceaseless basis from place to place. Being in Tracy Banks' car to being inside of the S.I.I.S liquor, the same impossible light activity, the maintenance of a specific environment, which is an impossible one to occur. Speaking to what are demons, group stalking the same. All right, and they were group stalking all night long, and I'll prosecute them as such. 7THS607. 3SLD341. And just like I stated, while the Ontario police are stalking in helicopter and the entity is flashing directed light inside of that car, which continued all night. That was ceaseless conduct. And you're talking about what is a whole system, and that's how you're able to prosecute a whole community such as the Ontario Town Square Townhomes, where nobody that lives in that venue has any exception from being prosecuted for being for living in relevant position where state surveillance is underway. You don't have a legal argument. That's how you have what are thousands of people driving by you and the impossible occurrence of directed light every single time every person drives by. 7VWT 903. License 5MSP397. License 8EXF985. 8ZTC736. 8RFC405. That's why you have obsessed stalking, which is the incrimination of the people of the state, which you don't need it. The pattern of conduct is the state's pattern of conduct, and the pattern of conduct includes the people of the state. And that's just as I've shown you the system, so you already know how the system operates. So upon, in other words, establishing the prima facie P.O.C, group stalking is that which is done vicariously on behalf of that government that's engaged in group stalking, federal group stalking and monitoring. And that is speaking to what is a prosecution of the people of the state in whatever jurisdiction that's in, because I've shown you what group stalking is. 9BCW028, 8VEP544. This is where the Ontario International Airport is group stalking. You see them flying over 325 West G Street. Well, they're flying over Ultra personnel right now. License 7DXB729 under the fake sun and indirect light. 6EQG965. And that's exactly what the Ontario airport was doing all night. Molesting, stalking, engaging in terrorism. Those are psychopaths, demons that are flying planes, stalking somebody while they're monitoring and facilitating monitoring, flying over these demon-possessed third parties' houses, stalking in relevant position, now flying over these demon-possessed third-party plaza, which is, third-party facilitating venue where these demons are maintaining presence, and the same exact stalking system is underway. It's not a difference. The Ontario airport is documented as engaging in what is all night long, vehicle after vehicle, thousands of times, molesting. Because that's what those demons were doing all night. It's 24-hour stalking. They were pacing all night long, molesting with directed light all night long. 7 NOP 166. Including the minion that is Tracy Banks, threatening that the police that are stalking, you don't have to call the police when they're stalking you, Satan. All right? And that's exactly what she's uttering. That's why I'm documenting it, because that's a threat by a demon who is monitoring and stalking with that police, threatening to engage in criminal summoning. 6YHK785. 8F98499, 8XDT281. This is where the Ontario International Airport is flying over Andy's Burgers. The fake sun is over me at Andy's Burgers. Directed light while I'm being molested. Andy's Burgers is monitoring. 5DRW526. There's no demon standing in the kitchen inside of Andy's Burgers that is not in any way included in the same exact P.O.C. This is a satanic system. That's why you've got an airport following with planes. That's why you have a police department stalking in vehicles and in helicopter. That's why you have what is impossible, which would not be the sun present during this time, and then somehow it's going to be here in the afternoon after 6 p.m. As I've also shown you the same aspect of the pattern of conduct where the sun is supposedly setting over the same property through the window of that same liquor store in the evening after 6 o'clock. No, it's not. This is P.O.C. 8TEY945-7HLP188. And that's revealing what the Ontario airport is engaged in, stalking American citizens using their planes. All right, that's what they're engaging in right now, and that's why they're flying over the house of 325 West G Street, which is documentation of that third party, and flying over what is B&G Plaza right now, where I'm located. That's the key. That's the pattern in that specific environment. 8XDT281, and I think I read those already. Yeah, this is P.O.C. It's currently 8:44 a.m. Alrighty, we're looking at what is bathroom monitoring by these same demons who I just documented outside of Andy's Burgers. You're looking at the fake sun right over me at Andy's Burgers. Directed light is inside of Andy's Burgers. I've documented a wealth of documentation actually about Andy's Burgers in particular. You're talking about flashing directed light, fake sun, all of that. They are monitoring and they're stalking in the bathroom, which is what I captured. Third party who you see crossing path, they're waiting for me to walk out. This is stalking conduct by 8ZJM268, who was in at the drive-thru. They're group stalking as I am walking out of the door. That's not coincidental presence, it's crossing his path. And let me show you directed light. All right, I'm showing you what is the environment where Union Pacific is audible activity creation, facilitating a sex offense. They're engaged in corporate monitoring, stalking physically in the bathroom, under the fake sun, in directed light, maintaining presence. As you'll see, a demon on the sidewalk, standing in relevant position. Demons are pacing in traffic. Demons are, including Omnitrans, loitering at the bus stop. For example, this is the method of presence, just giving you what is indication of the P.O.C. And the light source is directly over me as I'm stepping out of that venue where the entity is stalking in the bathroom. All right, that's Andy's Burgers. License 97971C2. 7YJS635, 7KFF606, 1459992, City of Ontario, 8KAP 999, I believe. 38403G1, Alaska. They're a sex offender engaging in terrorism, stalking, molesting all night long while I was inside of the vehicle. License 8NMS812, they're monitoring American citizens, and they're doing so with the demons that are the Ontario Police Department. That's what that company, Alaska, is engaged in right now, and that's what they're about, because that's what they're doing. It is a green and white, large van, spelled ALASCO. And they're also engaging in state surveillance and terrorism against one whom they also know is documenting it. So this is speaking to what is the true posture of that particular company, engaged in the employ of demons to engage in the state system, commercial stalking, one of the highest levels of malice in the system of federal group stalking and monitoring. That's what they're doing under the fake sun, monitoring with these demons that are engaging in the sex offense while I'm showing you relevant positioning and the environment where the Ontario airport is also stalking. Monitoring while my panties are down. 24972V2. That's Vice Splash Transport Incorporated. Again, 24972V2. Site 1 Landscape, license 92119K. I can't see the last character. But that's a company, that's a Trek. 7NEZ761. 7PWV420. 2858483. Brian's Automotive. They're a sex offender using what is a company to maintain presence. It's relevant positioning. You don't have any prior claim to, oh, my business was here before the targeted individual arrived and pulled their panties down and engaged in presence in the bathroom or private activity. That's not how that legal analysis works. It's state surveillance on behalf of the state that's monitoring. Flying around, stalking, monitoring in a specific environment, and you're present on behalf of the government, which you don't have a right to do. All right, the government can't engage in group stalking. Is a system whereby you're placed under surveillance by the state, and it's supposedly a system that you're not aware of and or incapable of establishing because of the malice of the system. But I'm showing you you're not incapable. I'm showing you what's a demonic system, and this is how Satan operates. This is speaking to the malice. That's why you're going to prosecute and punish the way you are, because of the malice of the system. All right, Brian's Automotive doesn't have any legal argument for what is presence on behalf of the state, and they're a sex offender relevant position while Andy's Burgers is stalking in the bathroom. Brian's Automotive, every third party there. 5TND 549, Union Pacific, the Ontario Airport, the Ontario Police Department, an entity engaging in what is stalking, concentrating that presence, a matter of public information, in other words, as your panties are going down in a bathroom while you're engaging in what is personal inside of a private space. And that's why they're in direct light and under a fake sun. The sun's not going to be here present over the same street after 6 o'clock in the evening, but I documented that because they're all stalkers. 8YNV250, 8TGV187, 9BJZ243, license 8TNZ684, 7SIK615, 8VO8E25, Cardenas, license 4NM9306, 8PTJ637. And just to get some of these demons, Brian's Automotive, this is a facilitating venue. These are businesses, again, this is state surveillance. They don't have a right to exist. You're going to shut them down. When you're going to prosecute, you're going to document, and you're going to shut them down. ADBK837, everyone engaging in terrorism, everyone group stalking with the state, including Union Pacific, using trains to engage in group stalking. That's what demonic activity is, though. AY36N89, they were monitoring with the Ontario Police last night, where you would not be able to hear the train outside of the Tabor Professional Building, but you hear it clearly on video. That's demonic, and that's what Union Pacific is engaged in right now, that which is demonic, under a fake sun and in directed light. It's audible activity. And Brian's Automotive is still monitoring while you're documenting. City of Ontario's group stalking in vehicles at the dead-end street of Transit and Plum while that amplified audible activity is underway. 77366D3, 8F70964. See PILTSWF and 2858483. 345GZ handicap, and City of Ontario is also part of that. They're sex offenders doing nothing other than engaging in state surveillance, pacing around the city, and vehicles belonging to the municipality. And they're sex offenders monitoring with Brian's Automotive, for example, while my panties are down. Demons are violent sex offenders, as you are witnessing, and I'm exposing their pattern of conduct. They're violent sex offenders, demented and sexually perverted, entirely predatory conduct, while they're placing under surveillance obsessively, okay? And every third party that I'm documenting is going to be prosecuted for what the entity engaged in, which is stalking all night long, pacing all around the car while the entity is flashing directed light all night long. That's what Union Pacific is engaging in with regard to the creation of audible activity while demons are pacing around. 06978E2, excuse me, 0697BE2. I'll get that correct. Let's straight right now. This is what Union Pacific is engaged in all night. Obviously, they're doing so while a ceaseless pattern of conduct is eliminated. That's 06978E2. 9BAC938, 6N75657, 7N40197. All right, and those are the demons that are obsessively stalking all night long. Satan does not take a nap, and Satan is using a people to engage in what is stalking together. License ED152 handicap. Ontario Town Square Townhomes, Metro 102 Apartments. They're monitoring. They're facilitating venues. 6CYP688. And let me show you the fake sun that crosses the street to the side of Hope Boulevard that I'm on. No longer over the Shiro's Liquor. No longer over the entrance in alignment with me at Andy's Burgers. No longer over the, again, the roof of the Clinica Medica, California. It's right over me as I cross the street facing what is Ontario Town Square. This is the exact location of the fake sun in the evening when I'm inside of Shiro's Liquor, and then this is be the sun in the same position, right? While and the sun is supposedly setting while I'm looking at it, capturing it through the window of Shiro's Liquor. You're looking at it in the same position. That's what the entity is doing while it's following me. It's following me while it's on the opposite side of my person at the same street. That's how you're capturing that while you're stalking with a fake sun. I'll catch a picture. 7TBF462 is pacing with 5TRS382. Demons are pacing while they're driving in opposite directions across my, past me, under what's the fake sun right here. So what I'm capturing is, while I'm standing at the intersection, the traffic intersection of Plum and Holt, this is the location, as you can see in my images, where I've captured the fake sun setting. And the entity, as I documented, the entity is aiming directed light through the aisles of Shiro's Liquor. So this is concentrated light, which is not sunlight. It's entirely demonic. And that's also, again, the terrorizing threat. While I'm documenting what is stalking with directed light, you're understanding what is terrorism. Demons are not only stalking you physically, they're also stalking you together. They're stalking with the police, and they're stalking with light. And this is occurring inside of the Shiro's Liquor, where the sun's in the same position where you see it right now in the morning. License plate 577TR. That's an old white man with liver spots. All right. He's a hop, skip, and a jump away from death, knocking on death's door, group stalking. 8TWJ222 is pacing with that demon. They're under the fake sun. And so the fake sun is in the same position on the opposite side of my person. Remember, in the morning, I tell you, it remains on the whatever is the general reference to whatever is the east side of my person, and it's remaining directly over me all day long, and it's all onto what is the west side of my person. Whichever direction is west, then the entity is keeping the fakes on that side of my body, and that's how you're also witnessing what is the demonic, what's impossible, while I'm at the same location, and that which is not possibly the sun is seen at the same exact location. It's over Metro 102, where I'm standing in front of Metro 102 facing Shiro's Liquor. Inside of Shiro's Liquor, after 6 p.m., the fake sun is over this same Metro 102 and seen through the window of that Shiro's Liquor, and aiming light down through, that's the form, because that has nothing to do with what is sunlight aiming onto the floor, reaching into the depths, on touching the gin bottles behind the register of that demon that is complete, who I'm making a purchase from inside of the liquor store. That's directed light. That's placed light. It's literally witnessing the presence of Satan. Okay, Satan does not even need a fake sun over my head to show you what is directed light. It has nothing to do with it. You're looking at what is a system whereby we are told about how the environment works. And so you automatically make a connection. Oh, this is sunlight because that's the sun. And so I'm even going deeper than that. I've shown you, first of all, this is not the natural environment. That which we refer to as the sun, as it is defined, as we're told that it operates according to what are quote, purportedly scientific facts. That's why it's referred to as the fake sun, because this is not the natural environment. It's not operating according to that. In addition to that, I've shown you what is directed light, which ordinarily you would assume is sunlight. But this is the breakdown of that system. Not only is that not the sun, that's not sunlight. It is also demonstrated by the fact that that sunlight, all right, in other words, that directed light is occurring in what is the shade. It's occurring in locations where there is no presence of that light source, no vantage point where that light would ever be able to create that light activity, that concentrated light that you see. It's occurring with regard to what is the absence, it would seem to appear, all right, because I'm showing you what would be, this is sunlight. Oh, so that means the sun is right here, because that's what's necessary. Sunlight's coming from the sun. All right, I've shown you what's the breakdown of that system, and that's not what's going on. You're witnessing what is the presence of Satan itself. It is seen through the light activity. All right, that's an interesting statement that I just said, it's seen through the light. I am speaking the light with regard to what is the light in which those of you who need to be awakened, I'm speaking the truth to you. But with regard to this is demonic light. This is entirely satanic. You are witnessing Satan. It is the evidence of the demons who surround you while you are looking at directed light. Directed light spreading through the aisles onto all the merchandise through the aisles of Shiro's Liquor that I'm facing right now during the 8 o'clock hour under what is not possibly the sun after 6 p.m. seen as I'm inside of Shiro's Liquor facing Metro 102 where I'm standing now, and that directed light is inside of Shiro's Liquor. You are witnessing the presence of Satan, and that directed light inside of the aisle is in no way related or necessarily occurring because that fake sun is seen through the window, but it is revealing what is the system that's underway, what is the demon possession as direct evidence, all right, speaking to the pattern of conduct. So that's what I want to make sure I've broken down for you, because I've shown you what is directed light inside of parking garages. There's no sunlight occurring inside of a base level parking garage. There's no sunlight that's occurring inside of and appearing in crevices of brick walls where there is no a structure where the sun is over. It's like a covered structure. I've shown you what is just patches of light on the wall. That has nothing to do with what is the form of Satan's system, which is that you remain surrounded in an environment and you don't even know what is going on amongst those who are around you and what they're doing. Okay. This is demonic activity. And as you see that directed light, you see Satan. Okay. You're not going to see some hovering object with horns on the head. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. That's a caricature. All right, the caricaturization, if you will, of demonic activity of Satan, of the presence of Satan. All right, you're looking at the environment. And that's how you are aware of what is wicked, what is demented, what is very, very sick. Satan that laughs as it's witnessing its own demise. That's the demon that is Tracy Banks. That's a psychopath. That's Satan. That's Satan's personality. And they know nothing's funny about stalking day and night by helicopter. That's going to be all over the news when I prosecute, okay? It's already published now. The secret is already out. But this is going to be out in even larger level. There's nothing funny about that. Satan's not funny about doesn't find that entertaining. Satan is very, very irate, outraged about it. Very, very angry, okay? But the personality of a psychopath is to laugh. Ha, 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 ha. I find it funny while you tell me I'm going to federal prison, which I know is occurring because you never would have got this far in documentation with regard to what are truths that I'm speaking, which is a supernatural act in and of itself. The fact that I'm showing you what is supposed to be remained a concealed secret, all right? And against what is a whole entity. Satan knows what's going on. I'm telling Satan what's going to happen, and Satan laughs while Satan knows that it's already defeated. That's the personality of a psychopath. It is currently 9:06 a.m. I'm going to show you what's impossible light in the side of the middle of the street where these demons are pacing and where they live in relevant position. This is impunity of a demon, 26354C3, directed light on the curb while that demon crosses path. And they turn down the street. They know exactly where I'm at. This is like double dutch with group stalking. They're stalking all around, listening to every word I say. They pick and choose the time to engage in what is crossing path, not coincidentally doing so as I'm engaged in change in operation of my phone. I'm showing you what's impossible, which is my shadow appearing in front of me on the asphalt in the shade, while the fake sun, I am facing it. That would create a shadow behind me. All right, but I've got two shadows. While I'm being molested and my shadow is appearing in front, a patch of directed light, in other words, appearing in the shade of the apartment building, which is stalking with light. That's a molestation with directed light. It's the presence of Satan, third party, who is a demon-possessed one, who does so not coincidentally as I take a picture of that, and also aware of the fact that they know they're being documented. That's, again, federal prison. All right, that's impunity. The obsessed stalker continuously stalking even as you document. License 7CIM 426, 6TYZ 318. And that is as I'm standing in between Metro 102 and the Ontario Town Square Townhomes, third-party facilitating venues. All right, where I've documented on more than one occasion, but like I was just describing about the SI.I.S liquor, it's over the SI.I.S liquor, and then after 6 p.m., it's through the window of the SI.I.S liquor, sun setting inside of the SI.I.S liquor. No, that's the P.O.C. And not no as with regard to it's not happening. It's happening because I captured that. But that's, you immediately know upon using your common sense. I don't even think that I hope that I wouldn't have to publish that and explain that to you because my knowledge of that rudimentary fact with regard to the operation of how the environment works is why I started documenting it, because you already know that that's not possibly the sun. You're probably not paying attention to it though. But these are the times that we're in and you need to pay attention. You need to wake up. License 5JBV211, 8GUC 601. These demons are monitoring at the Ontario City Hall, pacing in the parking lot, flashing directed light. These dirt old turkey neck minions with liver spots, molesting with directed light, monitoring with the police. 6GNP 465. She's going to sit her old self down in federal prison. I don't care how old Satan is. They're going to serve the same punishments. Okay, 8LZW, if not a mental ward. All right, while they're molesting and stalking with directed light. 8LZW 382, 9AMU 364, 3865 8P2. 6PDV 429, 8VPD 021, 89856X2, M760HO, 53807E2, 7VXU 590, 8TXH 406, 6STS 697, 8JLD 112, 9ACB 025, 8JFD 166, 7HDH 892. Alrighty, and this is a matter of common sense. The entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct where also, you know, this is not the sun. My documentation of what's remaining over the Old Family Community Library until the end of the day, and I mean after 7 p.m. That's a migration north. I'm literally, it's separated by a parking lot, a whole boulevard and a parking lot. That's not the sun that's going to remain over the Old Family Community Library all day long. And this is, again, fully documented. That's speaking to what is the P.O.C, big picture analysis, right? Ovid Family Community Library, hop, skip, and a jump, cross Hope Boulevard, cross the parking lot of these demons at the Ontario City Hall, where the entity's keeping a fake sun, letting you know what all of them are and what all of them are doing. 8SNX 664, ED 152, handicap, AK 87087. A demon-possessed minion touting what is Vietnam veteran. They're group stalking. They're demon-possessed. 8JJX 000. I point those things out to you because you need to understand what is the reality of a condition. It doesn't matter what sticker or what they have on their license plate. And you have, just as I've shown you every other type of corrupt agency, you have a lot of demons that are in the Navy, in the Marines, in the Air Force, in police departments, sheriff's departments, fire departments, any government body. It doesn't matter what who Satan is using. And you're not exempt from some pattern of conduct because you at one time engaged in what is fighting in Vietnam as a minion. Okay, you're still a minion, and today you're engaged in criminal conduct, which is entirely un-American. All right, which makes it nothing other than shameful. All right, you are still a demon nonetheless, and that's why I like to point that out to you. 7WIG 756. There's no honor amongst Satan, no honor amongst demons, at all. It is currently 9:11 a.m. And it's not just big picture with regard to what I was stating, the fake sun that's over the B&G Plaza in the morning and remaining over the Open Family Community Library, which is literally just across Hope Boulevard and a parking lot. That would not be the sun, which is in no direction west whatsoever. It's literally in the direction north. C Street, look on a map. You're going south to get to the B&G Plaza, over across the street in a parking lot. All right, it's not even 1,000 steps, and you're talking about the entity keeping the fake sun all day long. Okay, that's speaking to what's the P.O.C. In addition to what is the maintenance of that fake sun, for example, that's also not happening when I am nowhere near this location, as I remain in the vehicle outside of 630 North Fern, where the entity is keeping the fake sun today and moving it as I move during the 8 o'clock hour. But yet I'm there at 10:30, 10:29 in the morning, and the fake sun is remaining stationary right there. All right, that's not the sun. That's stalking with a light source, revealing the demonic. It's also not occurring while the entity is engaging all manner of movement of that light source over me while I am en route anywhere. Okay, as I'm capturing the fake sun this morning through the windshield of Tracy Banks' vehicle, that's the same street, the same intersection, where the entity is keeping the fake sun through that back windshield on that same street. All right, and I pointed that out while you were listening to her devour an ice cream cone like it's the best thing ever, and she's so focused on it. Alrighty, that's the psychopath that is stalking. All right, and knows the very truthful adjectives that I use to describe her, because that's what she is. I'm not going to mince words with Satan, even if Satan is unfortunately related to me. All right, but that has no bearing on me. Okay, this is revealing what is has nothing to do with blood relation. It has to do with what is your condition, and your condition is revealed through not only your behavior, but your presence in what is a demonic environment. And you also know what a demonic environment it is. It is literally that which is an unnatural one. It's one that's in direct opposition to what is the natural environment, scientific facts, if you will, which nobody can avoid what is that matter of documentation, objective, concrete evidence of what is in violation of plain scientific facts, all right? And that's also why you're documenting, because you're dealing with a malicious entity that lies, and because you're dealing with Satan. So you're talking about what is not only a prosecution of a corrupt government, you're literally dealing with Satan. Satan is a liar, okay? Satan will, the most treacherous, desperate acts. All right, and then while also, by that, again, that treachery and that desperation, that's actually what is veiled fear. Satan is very fearful. All right, but not only that, that fear is speaking to what is impunity. All right, you're going to prosecute for that. The one that's fearful is also laughing while you're scared. You're not showing any strength. You're first of all, you're a stalker. That's a posture of losing an inferiority in and of itself. And this is a system of stalking by an inferior population, the demon possessed. They're literally the cockroaches of humanity. They are abnormal. They are the hollows, the hollow zombies that walk this earth. They are those who are not awakened. They are those who are engaging in what is now to be recognized as criminal, because their demonic activity is actually achieving what is a criminal purpose, and their demonic activity is serving to terrorize. They're like any other gang, but they are a gang from the pit of hell, all right? While they have these spirits on them, and they are stalking as a gang with the state. They're stalking as a gang while they're monitoring with communication devices. They're stalking with the gang under a fake sun, indirect light, amongst amplified audible activity, while they are engaging in what is stalking with activity, kind of stalking with noise. This is entirely sick and demented conduct by a gang. It's terrorism, okay? And that's what they're doing while they're placing another under surveillance in violation of existing federal law, okay? And doing so with impunity. As I'm capturing third parties, they're going to sit in federal prison for that. And it's even worse for third parties whose name I know, okay? Not only are they acting on behalf of an entity, they're acting as the demon-possessed terrorist, the violent sex offender, the group stalker with the police that they are. All right, and that's a matter of objective evidence. Nothing that I'm describing is a matter of just conjecture. I'm just purely opining. And no. I've established the P.O.C. and I've substantiated it with evidence. And you're witnessing the impossible while I show you what is a light source that would not be over me and anywhere in the city of Chino at the same time, or while I'm on a bus going to Chino, or while I'm already in Rancho Cucamonga, but yet it's remaining specifically not just over my head. You can see it's very specific to where I'm located at any venue on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. So would it ever be over the Panera Bread on Haven and Foothill? The answer is no. Okay, and it's remaining here all day long. So that's based on that criminal conduct, that demonic conduct that the entity engaged in, and I documented it. It's never going to be at that Panera Bread, but it's only there while I go to that Panera Bread. Understand that. This has nothing to do with the natural environment. It is surrounding the whole entity with what is evidence, and there's psychopaths that are obsessively stalking together. That demon that's going by the name of Tracy Banks, who finds it funny while I'm telling her about what's going to happen in her future, which is sitting in federal prison, which a psychopath that is very fearful laughs at. That's a violent sex offender and a very highly demented, very sick and treacherous psychopath, okay, who actually does not find it funny and is actually, and there's nothing funny about it, but I just want to be clear, you want to recognize the sickness there. That's a sick person. This is the condition of the people of the state. They're demons, a population of them, a government, okay, intent on engaging in what is this corrupt system, and I've shown you every single last aspect of it. Not only are they engaged in the P.O.C., then they want to kidnap you and exercise fictitious authority under the law, trying to obstruct justice and everything. I have a response for you. You're going to prosecute. You're going to sit in federal prison. You don't have any authority, and you're also going to strip them from existence. You remove those courts. You remove those police departments, those sheriff's departments, any companies, third-party facilitating venue. You're dealing with the people of the state. That's a corrupt entity. And you are talking about you don't have any right to engage in what is the operation of a company and using those entities to assist a government and to serve Satan, terrorizing another under the name of some company name. That's the very company name that you're going to sue civilly and criminally. And you're also going to pluck them from existence. That you don't have any constitutional right to engage in making money while you're also engaged in the pattern of conduct. And how are you doing so? It's called malice. Right? And there's a necessary response as a matter of justice to that sort of sick system that the state of California is engaging in. So anyway, I am at the site of the Ovid Family Community Library, 9:17 a.m., where the entity following with its fake son. You have demons that are pacing on the sidewalk. They're engaging what is crossing a path, just like the Ontario airport is flying over the 280 North Lemon apartments, just like the entity is doing while it is stalking by flying around in their, not flying around, pacing around in their vehicles in directed light. All right, and this is the Ontario airport, the Ontario International Airport, engaging in what is a donut over the parking lot under the fake sun, amplified audible activity. Demons pacing together. And what you'll see is the absence of coincidence. Not only is the Ontario International Airport admitting, just as the Ontario Police Department does, you're admitting at this level of stalking where the system is no longer, it's no conspiracy theory. I have fully documented and revealed the system. The Ontario International Airport is speaking to what is an admission as to their engagement in what is terrorism, not coincidentally stalking by an airplane that was already present, by the way, hovering, and then engaging in nothing other than what is a donut, literally making a U-turn in relevant position. The fake sun is directly over me. You're looking at what are demons that are walking on the sidewalk in relevant position while the plane is amplified audible activity pacing. This is pacing above and pacing around me on the ground. You'll see the demon. He's got a blue button-up shirt, black glasses. He's crossing path, and the female, she is walking path. These are demons that are pacing. You can hear the demon with the dog. I've already documented him. This is an impermissible threat by this Latino male group stalking still. And the Ontario International Airport is engaging in what is not coincidental crossing a path, amplified audible activity in the specific environment. The Ontario International Airport is letting the world know that this is exactly what they're doing, that they are indeed stalking American citizens. This is the system of group stalking, as I revealed to you. And they are also, this is Satan making a statement. It is an admission. By the way, you don't have any other choice but to engage in a mission where the pattern of conduct has been established. And I'm literally choking the life out of what is Satan, revealing its criminal system. Those are the venues that you're not only subject to federal prison, you're talking about any TSA, any and every TSA agent, you're talking about employees, you're talking about the demon-possessed pilots, you're talking about any stewardess, those who are present to get on a plane. The entity is stalking and monitoring, engaged in surveillance and terrorism at the Ontario International Airport, as I've also documented, but also using planes to engage in stalking, making U-turns in the sky space, flying over the senior citizen apartments, as I'm showing you in direct light, at nighttime and at daytime. Where the fake sun is over me now, this is where the fake moon is over me, where that same Ontario International Airport is stalking. Okay, and that's the use and abuse of what is, entirely it's unprecedented, but it's like very, very sick. That is the sort of conduct that comes out of the pit of hell. This is the level of sickness that are the demon-possessed. These are demons who are engaging in this stalking conduct and documented as and shown as a matter of objective evidence. You're stalking with airplanes. You're group stalking. And you're a demon doing so. It's telling all of the above. And this is Satan. Again, that treacherous psychopath is one that would laugh while that evidence surrounds them. That's the personality of Satan. That's the condition of demons who are stalking with commercial airline planes. That's what the Ontario International Airport is engaging in. And they're doing so, and as they were doing all night long, by the way, the entity stalking by planes, the entity stalking by the people of the state who I'm documenting this morning, those demons, the same entity, in other words, I'm going to prosecute them specifically while they were aiming, flashing direct light inside of the car all night long. Obsessed stalking 24 hours a day is what is group stalking. And that's what the Ontario International Airport is engaging in right now. And that's what they were engaged in all last night, following where it is that I'm located in airplanes. That's how pathetic Satan is. You're using a whole airplane. I mean, you're talking about using helicopters. You're stalking me in helicopters. And then you think somebody's going to listen to you. You don't have any, the only court that the Ontario Police Department has any grounds in is when they're sitting in federal court being prosecuted. When you are shutting down that police department, they don't have any authority under the law. Absolutely none. I have captured them stalking by helicopter. That's the delusional psychopath. That's the crazy person. The only crazy one here is this entity that's engaging in the P.O.C. It is currently 9:21 a.m. This is P.O.C. Again, it is currently Wednesday, July 6, 2022. The Ovid Family Community Library, the venue where the entity is engaged in ongoing demonic pacing. Psychopaths not only pacing outside under the fake sun, they're pacing inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. Sex offenders stalking in and out and around the bathroom, pacing with multiple shadows and directed light inside of the venue, doing so on behalf of the police that are flying over and around the venue by helicopter all day long, pacing around in vehicles all day long. This is what they're concentrated on, and that's why they're keeping that environment. That's the obsessed stalker, and that is the level of importance that I maintain to a demon-possessed population who is being exposed and systematically prosecuted for every demonic tactic that they engage in while they're engaged in terrorism and surveillance. The entity engaging in what is this pattern of conduct outside of the Ovid Family Community Library where the sun would not be present as I'm capturing it over my head. We can use the present time because it's even before this time, but we'll use this because it's the same. 9:22 a.m. The sun is not, this is not the natural environment where it would remain for the duration of the day until I've captured 6:03 p.m. The Ontario Police Department stalking by helicopter, and the fake sun's on the same side of the Ovid Family Community Library. That's not the sun. That's not the natural environment. It's also that which is not occurring while I'm documenting the P.O.C. and other cities where the entity is keeping the fake sun for the duration of the day, right? This is the P.O.C., alrighty? And again, showing what is nothing other than ongoing pacing around in that specific environment where a bunch of demons are group stalking, and that's what the system is. It's 9:23 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, the Ontario International Airport, a state facilitating venue and third-party group stalkers, S.I.S. Airlines. That's the documentation as I'm capturing, or I'm showing you the group stalker flying directly over the 280 North Limit Apartments. S.I.S. Airlines does so as I began uploading my podcast. S.I.S. Airlines is doing so on behalf of the police, who also are stalking in the same manner. The Ontario Police is the group stalking directly. S.I.S. Airlines is group stalking vicariously. The Ontario International Airport is group stalking as a state actor, so I want to be clear on that. And all I'm doing is, with regard to the prosecution of what is a demonic system, and I've created ways in which you're going to classify the entity that's acting directly and vicariously, because group stalking is about vicarious presence. The state's placing under surveillance. The state does it through the people of the state. The people of the state includes companies and business establishments, which is literally the name, essentially the name of a company, wherever you're located, where group stalking is underway. And that's what the Ontario Airport is doing. As I'm showing that under the fake sun, you're seeing demons pacing around. The demon that's on the opposite side of the column, he's pacing. And that's what Ontario International Airport is doing, pacing. Flying over a senior citizen apartment complex. P.O.C. S.I.S. Airlines, seconds later, doing the exact same thing. This is group stalking with the police, and this is also an impermissible threat. S.I.S. Airlines is engaged in years of stalking conduct, in particular, including while I was in Diamond Bar. As I've documented this before, using S.I.S. Airlines planes, flying over my vehicle, flying around, and doing so while I was parked at San Glen Park. Excuse me, not San Glen. But the, I want to say, off of, what was it? In Diamond Bar, California, yeah. I documented this, and the entity would fly the same red and blue planes over my car all day long. There's a quaint neighborhood, right? It's supposedly quaint, but not while group stalking was underway. The entity engaged in ongoing obsessive pacing, very heavy traffic on what was a very narrow residential street. S.I.S. airline planes flying over the mountain of that residential area, houses all over that. The Southwest Airlines is flying right over those mountains to cross path. Southwest Airlines is doing so while it is also aware of the fact that it's being documented. Southwest Airlines is a group stalker. Southwest Airlines is engaging in terrorism. Southwest Airlines is engaging in what is the unthinkable criminal act of stalking somebody using its airplanes. I want to be clear, Southwest Airlines is also engaging, as a matter of what it's doing by company name. Southwest Airlines is ordinarily engaged in interstate commerce while they're engaged in state surveillance. This is, I'm referencing the language of 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. They have every intent to engage in placing another under surveillance as they are engaged in interstate commerce, crossing state lines, and they're engaged in criminal monitoring, which is federal stalking, with the state, with the police, with knowledge of the fact. And I'm speaking to, again, what is legislation that I'm addressing, which needs to be further enforced against an entity. That's speaking to the policy that I advocate. Southwest Airlines is not only engaged in federal stalking, placing another under surveillance while engaged in interstate commerce, they're also doing so with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented, knowledge of the fact that they're terrorists, stalking somebody in a specific environment, following everywhere. You're talking about the 10 freeway, you're talking about in whatever, inside of whatever venue I'm located, whatever vehicle I'm in, the entity doing so under the fake sun. I mean, you're talking about what's a psychopath that's surrounded with evidence. You're clearly a stalker. It is an admission while they engage in that. They're doing so under what is the direct evidence of the fact you're doing nothing other than stalking. They are also stalking while they're flying over a senior citizen complex. Okay, and they're doing so seconds apart. This is what Southwest Airlines, as I've documented here, though, has been engaged in for years. Not only as this specific venue, and as I've shown that, you're talking about the documentation of the fake sun where Southwest Airlines, that is the Ontario International Airport, and it's not just Southwest Airlines, but Southwest is the demon-possessed entity that wants to use those planes right now. It's representing nothing other than the people of the state. But doing so while I've shown the fake sun remaining for the duration of the day, you're talking about. This is already published information going years back, okay? So I've been documenting this venue in particular, Over Family Community Library, stalking with planes and helicopters at this particular venue. And what you have is over 13 hours of what is the maintenance of a sun, okay? Showing you what is not the sun, obviously, while that stalking conduct is underway. And this is speaking to what is years and years of analysis of showing what's not possibly the natural environment, while group stalking has been underway, as I've been exposing that at all times of year. Showing has nothing to do with times of year, has nothing to do with the seasons. It's plain stalking with a light source, and they're doing so with the police who are providing ongoing evidence against them. That police department is done. You're talking about what are they doing? Pointing fingers at the people of the state and every iteration of group stalking. They're doing so using company names. That's what Southwest Airlines is doing, and they're doing so with the police posing an impermissible threat. You've got doing so while they also know they're being documented. That's speaking to, by the way, the same exact psychopath. It's personified through the stalking conduct, while Southwest Airlines is just doing it in the unprecedented manner of using commercial airline planes, okay? You're seeing the same exact fake sun, directed light, demons on foot, pacing around, demons out of the Ontario Police Department, pacing around in a helicopter. All right, this is P.O.C. I just want to speak to that. That's what I'm capturing in still images. Union Pacific is engaged in audible activity creation. All right, that's P.O.C. All right, Ontario Police group stalking by helicopter again. It's currently 9:33 a.m. This is what they were sounding at Shiro's Liquor, where Tracy Banks was group stalking in direct light under the fake sun over the Shiro's Liquor. This is the Ontario Police Department that was group stalking last night, using a spotlight is what they were doing, pacing around, flying in a circle, okay? And they're doing so with the Ontario International Airport, Southwest Airlines, who are group stalking with those corrupt agencies, which is direct evidence against the people of the state, POC. Here goes Ontario Airport, 9:34 a.m. This is pacing in the sky space in that specific environment. This is demonic activity. And this is terrorism, gang conduct. It's terrorism. The plane activity is in concert and in no way substituting or replacing the stalking conduct by the police. They're demons that are monitoring together, stalking in helicopters, stalking on foot, walking their dog, pacing around in engineered light under the fake sun, pacing in plane and in their vehicles, and inside of the Wells Fargo, inside of the library, inside of Laverne College of Law, inside of the City Hall, inside of the Senior Center, inside of the 280 North Limit Apartments, inside of Metro 102 Apartments, inside of the B&G Plaza, and all the businesses inside of there, inside of the Ontario Town Square townhomes, at the Ontario Town Square. This is state surveillance that's underway, including all the venues along Euclid Avenue and along what would be D Street, C Street, B Street, Holt Boulevard in relevant position. This is the pattern of conduct, okay? It is currently 9:35 a.m. Capturing images of what is Delta Airlines group stalking, flying over the senior citizen apartments located at 280 Lemon Avenue, the Ontario Senior Housing Partner. And this is another third party who can hear audible activity. This is seconds apart. You have the demon possessed that are pacing around the C Street turn circle, the demon possessed that are inside of the Oba Family Community Library, the demon possessed that I'm showing you who are pacing around on the sidewalk all around. These are demons. These are the hollow zombies. These are psychopaths. And I'm showing you the fake sun right over my head where they're pacing all around. This is the Ontario International Airport using commercial airline planes, Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines included, that are pacing in relevant position in that specific environment. And this is massive monitoring that they're engaging in while this terrorism is underway. This is currently, the time is 10:09 a.m. License plate 8WBX248, 6SCJ781, 6NPP398. The Home Depot, using a commercial vehicle, engaged in surveillance and operation of a communication device, group stalking with the police and with the Ontario International Airport while they're patrolling over me by planes. This minion in a Home Depot vehicle is monitoring. License 8XMM469, that's the company Home Depot. 6KZE202, 82936G1, 7CAB554. And what you will see is the fake sun immediately moves as I move from the side of the Oba Family Community Library to the front entrance where Home Depot is group stalking in a vehicle in operation of a communication device, monitoring with the people of the state. All right, that fake sun moving as I move, which is the P.O.C. Eddie is the one that you see wearing the Western Waterworks company uniform, monitoring with the Ontario Police, monitoring with the Ontario International Airport, stalking with planes under the fake sun in directed light. 7DKE455, a demon pacing around the turn circle, directed light, omni-trans crossing path as well. This is P.O.C. Entering the venue of Oba Family Community Library where the entity is maintaining a fake sun all day long. And by all day, I mean until the point of quote-unquote sunset. That's why I've captured it over the same parking garage. I'm standing at the parking garage right now. That's P.O.C. License 6ALH896. Again, that's Western Waterworks. That's Eddie, group stalking. P.O.C. I mean, not that license plate, but that in the image that I captured, he's monitoring. Good morning. Got Jessica and Greg. Greg is the Latino male, not the Caucasian. And they're in directed light monitoring while the entity is stalking by plane. And it's 10:12 a.m., so I do enter on surveillance cameras, and it's ongoing pacing inside of the venue. These are demons that are walking around in directed light, pacing around all day long. As they move, where they move, is pursuant to ongoing stalking conduct activity creation inside of the venue where impossible light activity remains. And again, documentation of what is the sex offender, the perpetual sex offender stalking in bathrooms, which is what the entity is engaged in as well. P.O.C. Good morning, Patty. How's it going, Alex? How's it going? Can I have some disinfectant wipes, please? Good morning. How are you? Are you new?
Yes.
Oh, what's your name?
Connie.
Connie? Nice to meet you, Connie.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Alrighty, that's P.O.C. They're group stalking at the circulation. Well, not circulation. They moved their desk area to be more in alignment with the computers. Where the computer area is for maintenance of presence in the path for the ease of which demons who engage in maintenance of placement, because that's what it is, it's group stalking. They're maintaining presence on behalf of the entity, and they're group stalking while they're pacing back and forth to this desk area to ask questions. Oh, how can I register for the summer reading program? Oh, my kids, they read such and such hours. Can we get our prizes? Oh, I have a question. Can you help me with my computer? Oh, I don't know how to use the printer. Whatever it is that they're stating, they're pacing in directed light, maintaining presence, and they're doing so in that specific environment. They're doing so in a facilitating venue, and they're demons that are doing that. And those minions whose name I intentionally recite are engaging in group stalking inside of the Oba Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. Alright. Hello. Stephanie, right? Yeah. Can I get another, one of those right there by Brenda? They're engaged in criminal summoning and molestation. Thank you. You know what time it is right now? 1:30. Thank you. They're engaging in demonic pacing. I'm on computer number 11. You'll see this demon sitting at computer number 2. These demons are sitting around in computers that are surrounding at the computer lab. Brenda and Stephanie are group stalking at that computer desk area. They're engaged in criminal summoning, the entity amplifying the sound of sirens. Demons pacing all around, touching with their shadows that are reaching across the computer along the desk. They're doing so pursuant to what is my activity. These are demons stalking with activity creation. This is the iteration of molestation with directed light that occurs indoors. It's demonic. It is a sex offense. This is the entity, a bunch of demons engaging in a sex offense, placing you under surveillance. All right, this is a demon that's using the sound of a child's voice for audible activity and engineered light. You need to understand that. You're going to prosecute that as well. I've elaborated on that before. That's literally what those demons are doing. Again, that's Stephanie and Brenda. Also, Alan is here. And Greg, the Caucasian male, he goes out of his way to cross path in front of me while he knows I documented the other Greg. That's a Latino male that was sitting at the circulation desk. That's fine. He's engaged in that same criminal summoning. They're monitoring together. Under a fake sun, directed light remains over the same staircase and elevator while these demons are pacing around. This is P.O.C. By the way, it's 1:32 p.m. at the Ovid Family Community Library. Okay, what I publish on my website is in order for you to get, first of all, it's published on my website for you to see it, enlarged images, that which is already published to the G drive. So these are all pictures that are uploaded already onto my website, and I'm referencing today, July 6, 2022. I'm capturing images of what are the demon possessed. They're group stalking inside of a facilitating venue. This is Ovid Family Community Library at 215 E.C. Street in Ontario, California. The entity is again, while I'm outside of this building this morning on the side of it, during the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the fake sun remains over this venue. That in and of itself is speaking to what are demons that fill the venue. These are all the demon possessed, and they're engaging in stalking together. And they're doing so also with, again, the demons that I've documented, the Ontario Police Department, the demons that are the people I'll say outside of this venue, engaging and monitoring with these demons who are doing nothing other than pacing around in engineered light, which you can see on the elevator staircase. This is impossible light activity. The entity is keeping a fake sun over my head in Chino, California the other day. The sun is not over the building of the Ovid Family Community Library at the same time. The entity is stalking with a light source. It's a demonic environment. These demons are inside, pacing all around. And so this is what I was describing before. And so what I uploaded are enlarged pictures so you can see, first of all, the faces of demons. All right. And you're also looking at the light activity. Look at the chairs they're sitting in. Look at the tables. Look at what is the crooked shadows. Look at the conflicting directions of those shadows. Look at what is the placement of those shadows on the floor. And yet while they are walking around in this engineered light, their shadows, as I was describing, they're touching me, swiping their shadows against my person. They're stalking with light. It's just like when I'm on the bus and the entity is molesting me with directed light. That's what these demons are doing inside, except it's with their shadows. It's another method of touching with light, and it is absolutely impossible. It is absolutely demonic. And these are demons identified by Brenda, demons identified by the name of Stephanie, group stalking at the desk that you see in relevant position, while these demons that you see sitting at computer number 2 directly across from me, stalking, making noises, just like you hear in the background. That's a hostile demon that knows what I'm talking about. It's audible activity and directed light. These are psychopaths. These are the same demons that are also stalking in the bathrooms. All right. And what I want you to pay, you could see these enlarged images and you're going to pay attention to that light activity. It's absolutely impossible light activity. It is showing that light and those crooked shadows is showing their crooked condition. They're a bunch of demons. And I'm going to prosecute this venue. The Ovid Family Community Library shall cease to exist. But this is just one of them. I'm showing you what is the incontrovertible direct evidence of what is demon possession. Demon possession is relevant to what is prosecution for terrorism. Terrorism with the state of California that's engaging in criminal surveillance, monitoring with communication devices, also while posing an impermissible threat. These obsessed demon-possessed stalkers continue to do so while they know I'm documenting. They're indeed sitting in this venue, monitoring the documentation, obsessively stalking. Okay, and this is while they're engaging in an ongoing molestation, and that's exactly what it is. It's demonic activity. These are demons that are pacing around, and their shadows are flip-flopping all around me, while you see the directed light. They're all sitting in engineered light. The chairs and the desk partitions. I want to be clear, an upright chair, you can see the pattern of the chair. It's upright. The shadow is flat on the ground. That's impossible light. It's a demon. They're all demons. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct, and you can see those up-close images. You'll also see where I'm showing you a demon that's sitting at computer number. She's sitting at computer number 15 with her communication device. She's got on a peach shirt. You'll see my shadow that is going in the direction toward her. You're going to see the conflicting directions of shadows. The chair that she's sitting on, first of all, it's an impossible occurrence that the shadow of that chair would be flat on the ground. It's an upright object. The shadow of the chair, the design of the chair, the back of the chair is not going to be flat on the ground. You're looking at a demon and she's stalking. She's engaged in criminal surveillance, and this is how the entity is engaging in keeping you under surveillance. This is how an entity is engaging in what is group stalking inside of a venue. All right. And this is the people of the state engaged in the P.O.C. So first of all, you're looking at that. My shadow is going toward her. The shadow of the chair is going in an opposite direction. The chair behind her chair is going in the opposite direction as well. Pay attention to the details. You're looking at directed light, and there are a bunch of demons. This is Satan stalking amongst the people, and that's what the system of group stalking is. Of course, it's the same entity where I'm showing you the Ontario Police Department are stalking obsessively by helicopter under a fake sun, both in the morning, afternoon, and in the evening, while they are pacing all around in the sky space with the Ontario International Airport. All right, while they are engaging in what is the ongoing system, while I'm documenting and prosecuting psychopaths. These are the minions that are going into mental institutions. They are going to federal prison, all right, while they are engaging in this conduct together. That's Abby and Stephen, and they are group stalking right now in directed light. Alrighty, they are standing around in directed light. There's nothing that they're doing on the job that is anything other than group stalking. You have demons that do so in the specific environment, and doing so with the people of the state who are engaging in surveillance with them. And they are the quintessential example of what are psychopaths. This is a demonic system. This is public corruption that Ovid Family Community Library is engaging in. Okay, excuse me. But anyway, it is currently 2:42 p.m. and this is P.O.C. at the Ovid Family Community Library, and those enlarged images are published on the website. It is witnessing what is demonic activity. Are you okay? Hi, you okay? Because you're shaking the desk. Oh yeah, no, it's shaking. It's been shaking. Oh no, I don't need to check anything. I just want to make sure if you're okay, because it's kind of distracting to me when I'm sitting here and the desk is shaking. Thank you. 2:47 p.m. Alrighty, Stephanie, Emily, Mickey, Natasha, engaged in criminal summoning. The Ontario Police Department engaged in light activity creation and in perfect alignment with where I'm standing inside of the computer lab, by the way. You have what is, again, these demons are all pacing around in engineered light, and the Ontario Police Vehicle license plate 1627385. This is under the fake sun that remains at 6:04 p.m., and I'll show you that right now as well. This is audible activity under the fake sun. This is the same police department that's stalking, following me around through the neighborhood. They're monitoring at the Ontario Town Square. At the Ontario Town Square, a bunch of demons. In the parking garage, in the library, there are a bunch of demons. This is monitoring, and that is the impossible presence of the fake sun right over the parking garage, which is where I stood, where Home Depot inside of that vehicle, and Eddie with water, with the uniform on, group stalking the fake sun is over the same position. It's just over the parking garage. This is P.O.C. All right, so in addition to what is the demonic environment, the fake sun you see right over the parking garage is the same parking garage where I'm showing you directed light inside of that parking garage. This is nothing but group stalking. But in addition to that, you're paying attention to what is the blatant stalking by the Ontario Police on an ongoing basis, and they are indeed group stalking at the Ontario Town Square, engaging in surveillance, use of their lights, their vehicles, their presence is called criminal summoning. You have impossible light activity while they are outside monitoring. I'm going to capture pictures of this. Alrighty, that is the mark of demon possession. These are indeed demons who are monitoring, and you have what is walking right in the directed light with his communication device. In doing so, this is the demon with the sailor hat and the blue t-shirt. Ontario Police Vehicle 1302367, that's a license plate as well. 78QW527, 6MVA 828. License 7KFC 807. License BR33W81, paper. License 7UKP536, 8MOW535, 253ST, handicap, 5PVA566, 19881J1, 8JTD643. Alrighty, this is, again, automatic grounds of federal prison. You're witnessing what is the same exact pattern of conduct. The police department that's stalking while engaging in surveillance outside the venue and in that specific environment. This event at the Ontario Town Square are a bunch of demons that are engaging in what is relevant positioning. calling whatever that event that they're calling, they're engaged in demonic conduct. That's why directed light and the fake sun is over the same position where I stood this morning right before I entered this library, where I'm showing you Home Depot, this minion in the Home Depot vehicle. And that's exactly what I pointed out to you as I captured that fake sun that immediately moved from the side of the library to that front entrance. The parking garage is, I'm standing at the same street where that parking garage is located. That's very, very demonic. And you're also looking at the directed light that they're all driving and walking in. 5FKP694, 8PGT490, 8YXN517, 8DAA153, 6REK071, 7MNZ920. 8M32482, 78141J1, 5HFK157, 7NZL514, license 8GKJ217, and that's exactly what is speaking to federal prison. That's why they're stalking by helicopter. 58NM294, 8WKA665, 25870E2, 8YBS695, 7SNZ361, directed light on the asphalt while that demon reverses in front of me. 4YUG456, 7XME098. They're all going to federal prison. HOFSTRA, 8JSD607, 5XHM098, 68766E2. I think I read that one already. License plate. You can see these demons at the charger for the Tesla chargers. Fake sun, directed light, and the entity sounding helicopter activity. These are demons with black scrubs on. License 8XHF806. License 4KZJ533. 8UAZ428. 88BB535. 8ROY394, 5VXL188. But again, let me just point out, stalking by helicopter is the nothing but a hallmark. The entity is group stalking by those demons that are using their Ontario Police vehicles. Stalking by helicopter is what they're doing every day and every night. Okay, it is exactly what it is that I've told you. 8GYG772, 8UBZ603, and that's the same Ontario International Airport flying over the parking lot, where the fake sun remains at the same address, 215 East C Street, stalking with the Ontario Police. 5SSV506 and the people of the state, federal prison. 8TGJ540, 8UDF499, 5JVR074. 5CVC902. 9AZK707. And that's exactly why the people of the state are going to federal prison. That's exactly why. 7MEW965. 8EMN600. They're engaged in a molestation. You have impossible light activity that's all over the asphalt, just like I captured by the Ontario Police vehicles in the right in front of the parking garage. Directed light all over this asphalt. So as I'm walking on the ground, my shadow's in front, moving in opposite directions, impossible light activity. These demons are stalking in a parking lot with the police who have their police lights on. Demons stalking with light activity. 8PAE358 is going to federal prison. CD89Z59 paper. License 8NPB108. He's also a sex offender that wants to touch me while he also knows he's being documented. He's going to sit in federal prison. 7UQM322. 8EVT665, 7BST155. He's also a demon. That's a sex offender touching me, engaging in what is criminal surveillance with the police, and also demonstrating what is impunity. All right. This entire entity knows that it's being documented. You're talking about what is documenting ongoing stalking with knowledge of the fact that you are being documented. Sounding helicopter and plane activity while you know you are being documented. You're going to sit in federal prison. 8HOB791, 7LGL465. 5AXU441, 79433D1, 5HRB476, V832SO, 8MKN815. These are the fruits of very, very broad-reaching public corruption. 7UQM322, 6HTC788, 8NPB108. 6PJN178, 8EAX 648. See, 5FZT168, 8BZE683, 7HPF865, 8BAB311, 4KZJ533, 6CBF008, 4G72226, 4H68930. And where I'm capturing images of the fake sun over me, remember I'm at Mountain Oaks condominiums at 1053 Francis Street in Ontario, California. And that's where the Ontario Police Department, as I also documented on July 4th, is keeping the fake sun over that complex, right? Off of Mountain Avenue in Francis. That's not over the parking garage. That's not over the entrance of the library, of Ovid Family Community Library. That's not over the parking lot where I'm at, where this demon is engaging in plain surveillance, group stalking, with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented, 25PH81. That's why they're going to sit in federal prison while they're in that environment, and that's directly documented. They are under what is a fake sun, and that's Satan talking. What you got to say? What? I'm walking. What are you doing? I suggest you go mind your business, Satan. You ain't enough. Keep talking. Yeah, that's exactly what you are. And you're a stalker also. And you're a sex offender as well. You're a sex offender. Directed light across the wall. And you're going to federal prison. You're going to federal prison, genius. You're going to federal prison. That's criminal defamation. License 8ZIN236 while the Ontario airport is stalking over the building. Let me capture it. He's going to federal prison. That's Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines flying directly over the library now. You know why? Because I have migrated to the parking lot side, which is where you see the fake sun. And license 8VJJ473 also engaged in harassment. The entire entity, including the Ontario Police and the airport, they're all engaged in harassment. That's an entity speaking as one. Tracy Banks threatening with these to engage in what is summoning the police who are stalking. That's an entity that's engaging in threatening your liberty as one. He is literally sitting in the middle of the parking lot because he's group stalking. He's sitting in directed light. He's with the entity that's stalking by helicopter, sounding what is the impossible sound of train activity, stalking over the library with planes, and stalking with the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department, whose track record for stalking is already established, and engaging in what is hostility. That's Satan, who out of his mouth is engaging in, what are you doing? That's a psychopath that knows that they're being documented. You're engaging in what is activity creation while you are harassing, that's what you are, while he is literally driving by the building of the library, and the Southwest Airlines, the people of the state, are flying over that library while the fake sun is here, nowhere near what is Mountain Oaks and off of Francis and Mountain Avenue. This demon is stalking the path with directed light while he's engaged in criminal defamation. That's the personality of Satan. All right, those are, let me be clear, criminal defamation, harassment, intimidation, engaging in what is group stalking, the impermissible threat with impunity. In other words, while you are and you're a psychopath, you know you're surrounded with evidence. They look at that evidence, everything that I continue to document, knowing that I have established as a matter of objective evidence the fact of group stalking in and of itself, and you are still obsessively stalking. That's additional grounds of federal prison. That one in particular is going to sit in federal prison. Him and that demon in the vehicle with him, that's a Latino male, and doing so under the fake sun. That's nowhere near, again, Mountain Oaks, where I'm at on July 4th, 2022. But you're talking about what would not be the sun at the same property, 215 East C Street, where the Ontario airport is stalking by plane, where Southwest Airlines specifically is group stalking by plane, at the same time that a demon is crossing path with directed light and engaging what is criminal defamation. That's the psychopath that is Satan, that wants to call you crazy while you're documenting their psychotic stalking activity. That's Satan. Okay, I want to be clear. Mickey, Stephanie, Emily, Alan, Stephen, Abby, all of them that are inside, Natasha, all of them that are inside group stalking, you're listening to all of their audible activity. They engage in an ongoing impermissible threat, ongoing stalking with the entity, having no shelter whatsoever while they are working at 215 East C Street, group stalking in directed light, pacing all around while these demons are engaged in surveillance outside. It's not about some Ontario Town Square event. That event is a collection of demons who are engaged in criminal surveillance, and that's why they're having their event under a fake sun in directed light amongst a bunch of demons who are pacing around in directed light. That is both outside and inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, where again there is no sun at 603, where, by the way, the Ontario Police Department are stalking by helicopter at Mountain Oaks property at 1053 South Francis Street, as I documented, and not over 215 East C Street, where, by the way, the fake sun was here all morning, and at no time would the sun be over Mountain Oaks, as it's remained here. All right, and that's how you're going to prosecute. That's why he's going to federal prison. I call him exactly what he is because that's Satan. License 8XIN 677. License 8RLC 080. Impunity. One demon driving forward and another demon driving away. They're in directed light with knowledge of the fact with my real-time movement, ongoing obsessive stalking. This is vicarious on behalf of the Ontario Police who remain present. Okay? The Ontario Police are engaging in what is presence all around. So you're talking about what is group stalking by planes. That's the entity acting vicariously, the people of the state, group stalking. They're all going to be prosecuted because they're all stalking together. So I want to be clear, that was criminal defamation, 8ZIN 236. This is an overweight minion, a Latina. She's a molesting with directed light. And engaging in what is, again, criminal defamation. This is harassment and intimidation while you are a psychopath stalker. You're sitting in the middle of the parking lot because you're group stalking. Maintaining presence in the path, focused on me, stalking me, and engaging in what is defamatory speech. All right, that's defamatory speech speaking to prolonged presence in federal prison. Prolonged presence. Prolonged. License plate. 8XGN 592. You have what is Satan that is angry as I capture close-up images of that demon, which is a psychopath you're stalking. You don't want your picture taken, then don't be a stalker. But what does a psychopath do? You're defaming and threatening the wrong one because you're going to sit in federal prison. All right, the directed light you see on the ground, 7HDD 086, is molesting with that directed light. And this is exactly what they were doing inside of the vehicle all night long. This is what they're doing now because it's the same exact pattern of conduct. So I'm going to show you this sex offender. You can see it's stationary on the ground. And he also touches me with directed light while he drives by. This is a demon. Go ahead, pace back, Satan. There you go. Alrighty, that's P.O.C. Communication device in hand, a sex offender that just enters into a parking spot to engage in touching with directed light. This is exactly what I was documenting last night, again, while inside of the vehicle out on what is Fern Avenue. This is the exact specific pattern of conduct. All right, and these are demons that engage in what is vocalizing hostility as you're revealing the presence of Satan. Satan that is stalking you. Satan that is touching while they're stalking. 8ACB 805. All right, this demon's stalking with monitoring and with children. See that? Fake sun right over him. Fake sun right over their vehicle. Group stalking, molesting, harassing, defaming with children in the vehicle. 6WJE068. Children are present. They're engaging in activity creation. The people of the state engage in the pattern of conduct terrorism with children. 24K GOD, that demon documented last night while my panties are down, engaging in an ongoing molestation right now as well. 8JRR289, 9BBH038, while these demons are pacing by in the parking lot, directed light, sprawling out on the asphalt, under what is not even the sun. It would not even be present, nor is that sunlight. This is demonic activity. Alrighty, and this is all, again, speaking to what is the demons that are the Ontario Police Department directly engaged in and facilitating and monitoring via this demonic system. This is, again, that gang conduct, that demented conduct, speaking to what is achieving what is criminal monitoring, but you're also prosecuting for what is that ongoing perpetual touching, which is also terrorism, while they are stalking, all right? And then a psychopath that's a sex offender that is then hostile while you document the fact that they are indeed stalking, all right? And that they're very demented as they engage in that stalking. This is the same exact pattern of conduct, again, like I was documenting, molesting with directed light while these demons know where I'm sleeping inside of a vehicle at night. This is exactly what they're doing inside of the vehicle. Excuse me, this is exactly what they're doing right now while they're driving around in a parking lot. Thank you. Alrighty, it is currently, by the way, 6:21 p.m. and showing you what is directed light not only on the ground, what's the maintenance of a light source over the same parking lot. I'm in this parking lot where the Ontario Police are stalking at the same address on multiple occasions, but 7:34 a.m. is what I documented, February 2022. This would never be the sun that's over me in this parking lot. I'm documenting what is the entity's fake sun while the entity is stalking by helicopter at 10, I believe it's like around 10:15, 10:18 in the morning, this same exact parking lot. And that's just when I'm just on this side of this library, the parking lot side, because as I showed you this morning, while I'm on the opposite side under the walkway, the fake sun moves around the building, moves over to remain over me as I move. This is speaking to what is the same address, 215 East C Street, where the sun would never be present from any time of the year, daylight savings time or not, 7:34 a.m. until what is the present time right now, where it remains at 6:21 p.m. In addition to that, you will have what is pacing around, demons pacing practicing around molesting in directed light. S-U-W-I-N, the Ontario Police Department engaged in criminal defamation. They are violent sex offenders. That's exactly how they're going to be prosecuted. That's what they are. They are also terrorists while they're demons practicing the satanic targeting system, doing so with the people of the state, a demon-possessed population with whom they are monitoring with. While the entity together knows. This is what the entity is doing day and night, stalking every day by helicopter, and they know they're being documented. Very demented psychopath. 4WTK025, pacing. 7GNU811, pacing. 8DCJ688, directed light across that vehicle while this demon, a white-faced minion, driving a black Mercedes, is stalking me, Satan. Her license plate. Her license plate is, this is a psychopath, this is Satan, 8SQV685. Impossible light activity. License 9BCV953, 7KPG198, 8ACB805. I believe that Minion's license plate I read, they're crossing path again. They're just pacing all around, which is what they're all doing in the aggregate. But you have a demon that's just moving their car again. All they're doing is creating activity. Alrighty. This is the inside of the parking garage. Inside of the parking garage where I've captured the state's engineered light. They're all stalking. All right. License plate. AC21N04 paper. Showing you directed light behind this vehicle while they're engaged in surveillance in the parking garage that is already shown as the maintenance of the fake sun over this parking garage. Directed light inside of this parking garage, which you can see on the wall as I'm walking through. I captured those images. It's engineered light. 9AMT320, 4VMG378, 8XCK230, 8GEH601, 5CEY470, 7VMV296, 7XFD961. Alrighty, and what am I documenting? The same exact impossible presence of a light source while I'm nowhere near the Victoria Gardens. 6SO8847. Remember, the entity's keeping the fake sun over me in Rancho Cucamonga at the Paul Bryan Library, keeping it directly over me while I'm in the parking garage, aiming impossible light inside of that parking garage. I'm showing you what is molestation while demons pace around inside of that parking garage. Looking at what is the maintenance of that light source at the Victoria Gardens over the property there, but you have it here remaining over these demons inside. They're using children, they're creating light activity and engineered light, engaged in surveillance, and the Teslas over here at these charging systems, stations 8ZSH925 is monitoring. I captured images of these demons while they're crossing path. They're demons that are pacing, including children in that demonic pacing, while they're appearing in what is impossible light activity under a sun that's nowhere near, by the way, Victoria Gardens, as I exit the Paul Bryan Library. GB647, handicap, 8VGW997. These are demons who are pacing. License plate, 6PHR386. This is impunity. They're all molesting. They're driving in engineered light. License plate, 8VKP252. And it's the same pattern while I'm in Rancho Cucamonga. I showed you that inside of that parking garage in Rancho. It's the same exact pattern. It's an impossible occurrence. This is state surveillance, and it's demonic activity, 7WKX782. And this entity that is stalking is engaging in what is criminal defamation. That's why they go to federal prison. License plate 8RVV698 and license 56775. These are Teslas. You can see my shadow appearing at a distance away from me on the wall. Impossible light activity while they're group stalking inside of a parking garage. All right, demons that are monitoring, and they're part of the same exact molestation. They're part of the same exact harassment and defamation that I documented on my podcast. They're psychopaths that are stalking with the police. That's federal prison. They are also in directed light inside of the parking garage. Direct indication of their condition and their engagement in group stalking. 6WDN231. 9BCF809, what you're listening to is noise and engineered light under the fake sun. That's over the same venue across from 215 EC Street. Entirely demonic, impossible, in other words, group stalking. 8NPC366, 9BCF809. They're engaged in surveillance by sitting at what is a charging system for these Teslas. Maintaining presence is surveillance in the environment. It's criminal surveillance. License 8YAE364. License 8HZK198, C 8KZD677, 6LLS990, and they're a bunch of demons. This is entirely pathetic. 8KZD677, 82471B1, 5VOW 728, 6VRX 795, 7SJX 067, DUBEY 8VAZ 478. This needs to be known, though, as I continuously expose it, because these are the demons that are the people of the state engaging in what is stalking somebody together as a population. And this is what Satan is doing, because they are all of the same condition. These are demons. These are the demon possessed. 8RRG 559. With children in the vehicle, license plate. This is a sex offense. This is engaging in terrorism with the police. 80R275. 8MXB 002. And this is demonic pacing, one vehicle after another. License plate. Oh, no license plate on their vehicle. That's funny. 5JES 118, 8XAU 690, 7GTT 354, 8NMZ 163, and flashing directed light across that third party's vehicle. That's a demon. They're engaged in criminal monitoring. 4WRM 994, 8HAL 274, 7NAK 430, 6ZMN 931, 8MLJ 487, 9AVE 752, 8MSA 577, 8UYS 050, 7GIR 576, 53107Z2, 8AKB 121, 6EJH 244, 7ZHG 250, 8HNK 853, 7RKF 292. Alrighty, and this speaking the maintenance of environment, again, this is a direct indication of what is a demonic system that is indeed focused on that target individual, as opposed to demons doing anything else. This is group stalking in operation, facilitated by what is the venue of not only Open Family Community Library, where I'm located, but the Ontario Town Square. These are demons that are monitoring together. That's why they're pacing inside of a parking garage where no sunlight is going to appear or flashing or create what is my shadow. I've shown this on video. You have the demons that are well documented as stalkers. That is the Ontario Police. And they are, and the people of the state are well-documented stalkers as well. Demons, they're well-documented. And they are in what is the direct evidence of it, the impossible light activity, the maintenance of a light source, which is not possibly the sun, over the venue that is the Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street, where at no time today, if you'll pay attention, would the sun be over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 8303 Haven Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga, nor would it ever be over the Ontario Police Department, as I was here both before, during, and after 10:29 a.m., not leaving from this property. That is speaking to the demon possession of these police, the criminal conduct, the corruption, the impunity, in other words, their posture towards your constitutional rights as you're documenting it, the engagement in what is fictitious authority. They don't have any authority. They're engaged in surveillance. This is the exercise of fictitious authority while the pattern of conduct is underway. All right, and that's what you're looking at while you're in that specific environment. But engaging in what is the fictitious exercise of authority, where you are Satan playing dress up as though you are a police officer engaging in what is the ordinary duties of your position. But they're engaged in criminal monitoring. And they're also doing so as the demon possessed. All right, license, again, I already read this one. This was the vehicle while I'm inside of the computer lab. The entity is keeping this vehicle in perfect alignment. And you're looking at Emily and Stephanie, who are group stalking. They're going to federal prison. It's criminal summoning. All right, and they've been, and guess what? 215 East C Street is a facilitating venue. This is prosecuted as what is criminal surveillance. You're talking about what is a stripped down, a prosecution of a whole venue. While I'm inside of there, everybody going to federal prison. This is how you're using what is the pattern of conduct against the entity that engages in massive surveillance to the people of the state. You're talking about group stalking on a bus, you're group stalking where you work, where this pattern of conduct is underway, and you're cooperating with the police to do so. They go to federal prison, and so will the people of the state. License 1627385. You have these demons that are the Ontario Police engaging in open surveillance around 1302367. They're under the fake sun, psychopaths that know that they're being documented, engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking. This is P.O.C. No, I like to record stalkers. I like to record stalkers, but since you're familiar with me, what's your name? Fernandez? We had a conversation? We had a conversation? Huh? I didn't think so, because you're a minion. That's why, and you're a criminal. That's why directed light is appearing behind your head, Satan. What's your badge number? You're out here engaged in criminal conduct. What's your badge number?
You have a great day.
What's your badge number? Monitoring with the people of the state, a demon as well. Are you the one that had the 3 shadows that I documented? Is that why you know who I am? Because we never had a conversation. You ran away. Remember that? Are you the one that engaged in that? What's your badge number? You owe that information, criminal. You're out here engaging in criminal conduct, though. You're refusing to provide your badge number?
Have a great day.
You're still going to be prosecuted as a sex-offending, demon-possessed group stalker. Yeah, you are. What's your badge number? What's your badge number? That's an additional federal charge. Why are you denying it, though? While you're out here engaging in lawful service, is that what you're doing? Is that why you're refusing your badge number? While you're stalking somebody? Under the fake sun? I know that what's your badge number, Fernandez? Jay Fernandez? Okay, you'll be on the front page of my website. You're going to federal prison as well. What's your name? I know, I need it again. I'm documenting you. Yeah, you're still stalking, so what's your name? Why? That's Jaraguay, right? Okay, so that's so hard for you to say? While you're group stalking? You don't have any authority to even be here. And you want to refuse to provide your identification? While you think you're threatening me with a bunch of these demons in directed light? You're delusional. You no, you're something else. Stalking all night. You're stalking the wrong one with the helicopters. You and that police department. You don't have to own it, Satan. You don't have. You're sitting here wearing this badge and you don't have authority under the law. You're stalking somebody. That's why you and your partner are cowards. You don't want to identify yourself. But I don't need you. I don't need you to do that. But I am going to document your group stalking conduct. You're in relevant position. Let me show you the fake sun. Monitoring with the people of the state. These are demons pacing on the sidewalk. They're monitoring. All right, license 1302367. This is the conduct of Satan. The personality of Satan. He finds it funny as you document him. You're going to a mental ward. You're going to a mental ward. That's P.O.C. They're sitting inside monitoring me while they're outside at the Ontario Town Square. License 1582626. They're under the impossible environment. The sun would never be present, both not only at the Victoria Gardens or in Chino, California, over me at Fontana, California, or remaining over me, for example, like when I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, but it's right here remaining over the same venue, 215 East C Street, where these demons are refusing to identify themselves while they're stalking. Okay? Even outside of documenting the pattern of conduct, these supposed servants should be identifying themselves by badge number. All right, I'm identifying what are the cowards that are criminals. B. Resendez, monitoring with your communication device. Got it. Hello, minions. Hello, minions. A whole bunch of demons that already know my name, but of course you know that you've got hours and hours of documentation of you stalking using helicopters. What's your name? What's your name? Mbania. Okay, and that's badge 80277. Tell your little punk, why is he running? Come back with his two tight pants. Why is he running? Yeah, he is. You're running. You're out here stalking and you're running. What's your name? S. Duarte. Thank you. 20392. Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Monitoring with the people of the state. Hi. He's monitoring with the Ontario airport flying right over the Ontario Town Square. All right, Satan. What's your badge number? This is B. Resendez. What's your badge number, minion? You're engaged in criminal monitoring. Direct evidence of it. What's your badge number? Well, you guys sure are full of minions. These minions are, you are scared, huh? You're gonna be out here stalking? You're gonna not give me your badge number? What's so interesting about the little kid? You don't wanna say nothing? Resendez? Huh? What's your badge number?
Do you need any help, ma'am?
Yeah, I want to know your badge number. That's what I said. You heard me. Are you deaf?
Police department if you need help.
I don't know. I need your badge number. You owe that information. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You're a public servant, right?
Yeah, I don't need
So what's your badge number?
Do you have any other questions?
Your badge number. Do you have a problem providing that? Is there a reason why? Besides the fact that you're stalking?
123.
No, that's not.
Well, you're gonna tell me how my badge number
That's
is?
your badge number is 123?
Yeah.
Okay, just like your stalking skills are not that bright, let me tell you something. You're out here monitoring and you're refusing to identify yourself. You're clearly a group stalker and you're surrounded with evidence of it.
Erica.
All right? Can I help you?
Nobody's monitoring anything.
Okay. That's
Nobody.
audible activity of a minion, okay?
No.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it is. So like I said, why don't you want to provide your badge number if you're not monitoring? Okay, I didn't think so. Like I said, this is, again, refusal to provide while you're monitoring. This is refusal.
Hey,
yes.
There's kids here. Come on.
Yeah, I know where kids are, and I am relaxed. I'm talking to an adult, right?
Okay.
Okay, so don't bring the kids into this conversation. It's not a distraction.
Okay.
Your partner should have provided that badge number.
Thank you.
I can stand here if I want to saying, where you ushering me? You over here stalking me.
No one's
You're not
stalking you.
ushering. Yes, you are. You're a group stalker.
No.
Okay, and guess what? That's not a matter of some.
Why are you raising up your voice, Erica?
Because you're cowards. That's why you're disgusting. You're nauseating, and then you're running away like a little punk while you're out here monitoring in my face. You're going to federal prison. You're a coward. You're a coward. I don't need your actual badge number. I want to get your identification. You're going to be on the front page of my website, and you're going to federal prison. All right? That's what you're. And I already know what you are. Minions. By Bonilla. I'm glad you know my name. You got to memorize.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right then. Duarte. I'll see you soon. That's P.O.C. These are minions who are monitoring and refusing to identify themselves running away from me while I'm trying to get their badge numbers, which is a matter of public information, by the way. They owe that information when you request it to them. All right, monitoring under the fake sun, in directed light, monitoring with the people of the state. These demons are pacing all around, okay, while they are monitoring in real time and then running away. That's because that's literally what you're doing. You're walking the opposite direction, trying to avoid providing me your badge number. While these demons are monitoring documentation, they know exactly what I'm publishing onto YouTube and onto my website. You are stalking day and night, following me around this neighborhood by helicopters. You're outside stalking and monitoring right now and trying to bring up the fact that kids are over here. Nobody's talking to these kids, and you're monitoring via the activity that these kids are creating right now. That's Satan. Don't be distracted by that. 1515411. But that's the cowards that are the Ontario Police Department, by the way, who have no lawful authority under the law. They have no lawful authority whatsoever. They're engaged in criminal surveillance, and they're a bunch of demons. They're a bunch of demons playing dress up. All right, and that's why I address Satan like that. They get no respect. They were engaged. Let me be clear, where the fake sun is right now, I literally documented the same exact police department, and the fake sun is over the I'm standing right here at the Ovid Family Community Library. This is not the sun. They're demons that you're listening to me exchange with, calling them by their names. They're both minions and they're cowards. All right, that's what's so nauseating about them, that they make me want to spit. All right, they make me sick. That is an impossible environment while you're listening to cowards run away from me while I'm documenting their criminal conduct, and what is speaking to an unprecedented criminal system by Satan itself, using the puppets that are the Ontario Police Department, a bunch of cowards that are running away while I'm documenting them under what is not possibly the sun. June 16, 2022, where's that fake sun over the same police department that's stalking and monitoring and then engaging in kidnapping? It's right here over the same entrance. It is currently 6:38 p.m. That is not the sun. All right, those are demons. And this entire neighborhood is engaged in criminal summoning. 1614298, the entire neighborhood. Every single last third party I documented is specifically going to federal prison. But you're talking about what is criminal summoning, a very specific federal charge that you're going to prosecute the entity for. MRSONT 1459915. Criminal summoning is relevant to prosecution for terrorism. 8RHP 842 58000F2 1563089. License 8PBA118. What you're listening to is Ontario Town Square, which is a facilitating venue. They're monitoring with the police. They're under the fake sun, and this is the deliberate, malicious aspect of the P.O.C. They're monitoring together. 6VAU564, 6UYS790. And by the way, while those demons are refusing to identify, the Ontario Airport is following as where I'm walking around the building. That's where the Ontario Airport is flying. Under what is the same fake sun, well, I'm at the same address, by the way. While they are literally, those cowards in real time are refusing to identify yourself while you are stalking. You are stalking and monitoring. That's what's so pathetic about them. 7H18037, 5XUJ790, 1510639, vehicle 1872. 5NZJ700, 7UXL824, 8JVL217, 6KUK441, 7YXL013, 6DWC601, 8CPW382. And it is currently, by the way, 6:40 p.m. Already showing you what is impossible light activity while these demons that are the Ontario Police, a bunch of cowards, okay, that are engaging in what is refusal to provide, that's additional federal charges. Refusal to provide publicly available identifying information. That is a specific federal charge because that's the pattern of an entity that is delusional, okay? Do I actually need your badge number? I actually don't need it. Every single last officer, and by the way, they're not actual officers. These are demons playing dress up. This is Satan. I'm revealing to you what is Satan's, what Satan's doing amongst the people. This public corruption I'm exposing. So you have a bunch of demons parading around as law officers, police officers or a law enforcement agency having actual authority under the law when they're engaged in criminal conduct, exercising fictitious authority under the law. All right, engaging in what is surveillance and terrorism with the people. This audible activity is the people of the state engaging in that system with them. Demons under the fake sun, which I capture in video. This same property on June 16, 2022, where this fake sun is over me, this same police department stalking by helicopter, engaging in what is harassment and intimidation at 215 EC Street. The sun would not be present at 10:29 a.m. and present at what is 6:38 p.m. right now. That's the impossible. This is speaking to the revealing their condition. They're demons. You also see directed light in that video. And you're looking at what are demons that are the Ontario Police who are surrounding the perimeter with light activity. 8JVL217. They have called the pattern of conduct this is nothing other than the pattern of conduct occurring under the guise of some event at a state facilitating venue. Demonic activity underway. And that's grounds for what is federal prison. 6KUK441, 9012081. 7MBU585, The Ontario Fire Department is present as well. And while I'm capturing this video, this is the environment that's present while all of those while all of those cowards are refusing to provide their badge numbers, okay? They are stalking day and night, night and day and night. And I approach them to their face, and I want to know, Satan, what's your badge number? And you want to run around and run away like a little poontang that you are, stalking somebody in my face, and I'm going to approach you, and I want your identification because I want you to look me in my face because I'm going to put you in federal prison. And that video is speaking to exactly what they're all engaging in while they're running away, avoiding my ability to capture their badge numbers on my podcast, which is an additional federal charge, even though I don't need it to prosecute them. But while the ordinary target individual is documenting, and the entity itself that is stalking and monitoring, threatening your life, kidnapping you, waging false allegations, all right? In other words, conspiring with the people of the state with whom they're monitoring, that's what the entity is doing. While they're engaged in that and they refuse to provide you the ability to document or identify them, that's an additional federal charge, all right? And those cowards, as I'm showing that evidence, they're going to federal prison. That's what's so despicable about them. That's why you hear the absence of any evidence. And it is, again, objective evidence of demon possession. I want to be clear, these minions inside of here, I want to get this demon monitoring, crossing the path with the police, stalking in plain sight. I find that to be particularly audacious. You're going to sit in federal prison for that. And that's what they're doing. They're walking around on sidewalk. This is group stalking in your face. They're surrounding the library with light activity on their police vehicles, in directed light under the fake sun at the same address, June 16, 2022, the latest kidnapping by this entity. The entity's fake sun is directly over this same library at 215 East C Street, Ovid Family Community Library. I am at the same parking garage facing the Ovid Family Community Library. That is not the sun. And I've already shown that. But I'm highlighting this while you're listening to cowards that are stalking sex offenders, demon-possessed group stalkers, referencing kids as to why, hey, nobody's monitoring. Okay, that's Satan. Satan is a liar. Satan is a psychopath. And Satan is surrounded with hours and hours and hours and hours of evidence speaking to the contrary. All right? This is not about me calming down. That's about you identifying yourself while you're stalking somebody, you're threatening someone. Your very presence is a communication of a threat. And by way of my documenting it and surrounding these demons with the evidence of it. All right? It's entirely nauseating and despicable while I'm exposing it. That's why I reference Satan in the way that I do. You can hear the disgust in my voice because Satan is a disgusting creature. They are stalking right now in plain sight, and they're doing it to the wrong one because every single last one of them are going to federal prison. And the Ontario Police Department is done. They're done. Alrighty, it is currently 6:47 p.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, you'll see what are sex offenders manning the path outside of the bathroom. That's the identification of the predators, and they're doing so with the demon-possessed, sex-offending group stalkers that are the Ontario Police. This is inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. Again, with the employees that are Mickey and Natasha, Greg, both Gregs, Alan, Emily, Stephanie, Abby, Stephen, these minions who I'm documenting inside, they're group stalking in the bathroom as well. The entity is doing nothing other than maintaining presence in the path under a fake sun and directed light. And directed light remains in here where these demons are pacing around me all day long. All right, this is P.O.C. This is documentation of what is federal stalking. The pattern of conduct continues inside. After documenting and showing you what is the P.O.C. outside, the same exact pattern of conduct remains underway inside. This is inside of the private space where that same police department is a sex offender engaging in surveillance in a bathroom. This is P.O.C. It is 6:49 p.m. Alrighty, I just want to show you what is impossible light activity. Alrighty, this is my shadow over here, and this is my shadow behind me. And this is supposedly the sun that's at the same, this is the Ovid Family Community Library, Ontario Town Square, where I am present at 7:50 in the morning, and this same police department, stalking in the path, demon stalking with light, are in what is directed light, an impossible occurrence. They're stalking at the same venue. I'm here at 7:50 in the morning where they're stalking me by helicopter. I've captured the Ontario Town Square. This is a whole fest of demons they're monitoring. The use of music and presence, it's what is demonic pacing, it's demonic activity occurring under the guise of a name of an event where the same police department that is stalking day and night by helicopter. This is demonic. An impossible occurrence. I'm facing that which is the sun present here before 8 o'clock in the morning at the same venue. On June 16, 2022, the fake sun is directly over the same police department that engaged in kidnapping. 10:29 a.m., the sun would not be present over the same venue. There would be no such light as I documented inside of that parking garage. It's over me while I walk through that parking lot at the back where this entity engaged in criminal defamation and harassment while I'm documenting and identifying what are the faces of Satan. These are the demon-possessed, group stalking, and what is an unmistakable environment. This is impossible. Impossible. Speaking to what are demons who surround, including the Ontario Police. That demon is looking at me from his rearview mirror. And these are the demons of the Ontario Police who you hear me documenting on my podcast. And these cowards who are stalking day and night in helicopter, refusing to provide their identification while they're stalking in plain sight, because this is the demon stalking with light. Under the fake sun. License 1510639. And let me show you again. This is the impossible light activity. All right, you see this? This is my shadow over here. That's a demon. This is P.O.C. and he's monitoring right now. This is called impunity. Hello. What's your badge number?
Take care.
What's your badge number, Satan? Okay, well, we're going to get you on the website. We're going to get you on YouTube, and you're going to federal prison. We might get you in a mental ward because you have serious issues, Satan. You are clearly identified and surrounded with evidence, and this is impunity. In case you did not know, I'm going to surround you with federal law, and you're going to federal prison. That's P.O.C. Monitoring with a communication device under the fake sun. Vehicle 1510639. Monitoring with his demons who are surrounding the perimeter in what is impossible light activity. All right, they're demons. This is P.O.C. All right, the African-American female captured group stalking on February 4th, 2022 with the Ontario Police engaged in criminal summoning, false allegations, a sex offender stalking in the bathroom, and she's still stalking in the bathroom with the Ontario Police. She walks in, pacing, crossing path in directed light, monitoring with the knowledge of the fact that she's being documented as well. Alrighty, monitoring with the minions that are maintaining presence around the path. So while this demon's in position outside of the bathroom, monitoring with Securitas who crosses path inside of the bathroom. So I just want to make sure I document that. It is currently, by the way, where you will see that, 6:52 p.m. She is, again, representing the company Securitas and monitoring as the people of the state while they're listening to every word, speaking to what is stalking with the police, monitoring in the bathroom, and then walking right inside to engage in what is harassment while monitoring still on an ongoing basis. This is the same minion on video captured on February 4, 2022 under the fake sun that remains over me, and she's monitoring right now while I'm inside of that private space, okay? This is P.O.C. That's, again, the entity that's a sex offender that also intends to harass while monitoring you at 6:53 p.m. Excuse me. And that's, again, the company Securitas. Abby is back here monitoring with Securitas. She's monitoring with the people. They're sitting all around in relevant position. They're all in directed light, engaged in surveillance, monitoring while a third party walks in, and that third party represents Securitas, the company, and the same African-American female who is harassing on multiple occasions on video as well, intentionally engaging what is stalking in the bathroom with the intent to harass. Kaylin and Abby. Hi. Can I have some disinfectant wipes, please? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's P.O.C. Just want to document the other employees who are monitoring with Kaylin and representing what's the Ontario Police. That's the same duo, though. You understand what's criminal summoning. She engaged in criminal summoning. She's going to federal prison. She's a violent sex offender, stalking in the bathroom with impunity, while all these demons are sitting around in directed light monitoring. You're not studying anything. You're not reading anything. You're not focused on anything other than monitoring. They're demons while they have directed light inside of the venue. All right, that's the P.O.C. It is 6:54 p.m. Alrighty, you're looking at what is relevant positioning. These are specifically demons, and they're sitting in what is the demented light, and they are engaged in the demented conduct of stalking with noise creation, whether that be hitting on the desk, rumpling around paper, plastic. This is very demented conduct. It's terrorism while a gang of demons engage in this conduct, and they're doing it with the police. All right, they're doing it with the police that are in relevant position, group stalking outside, creating light activity under what is the maintaining light source, and doing so as an obsessed stalker. That's why you're sitting around in that environment and stalking with noise, because you're engaged in stalking, group stalking. And this is what you're seeing documented. It's 7:45 p.m. and these demons are engaged in surveillance. I'm on the basement level. And these, again, at a distance, not looking at what I'm doing on my phone, but the uncanny ability to stalk, that is follow, that is mirror my activity on a communication device with the creation of noise. All right, and you're looking at what are demons that are engaged in that surveillance on behalf of the police, demons that I captured documenting group stalking outside, they're group stalking inside. It's P.O.C. All right, Union Pacific engaged in criminal summoning with the Ontario Police Department. This is the little event where these demons are gathered at Ontario Town Square under the fake sun and directed light. And Union Pacific, the sound of the train is louder than the this event. That's impossible audible activity. And speaking to, again, what are nothing other than demons that are in relevant position in the specific environment, and also monitoring, notably with the police, federal prison. All right, and that's fully documented on my website, on YouTube. And I'll be adding more images because I'm going to show you the demon possession, the criminal system, the public corruption that the people of the state, demons, and the demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police, are engaged in together. These are demons that are pacing in the sidewalk. Let me show you this. Hold on. Here. Alrighty, the people of the state group stalking with Ontario Police driving vehicle 1302367. He's on his communication device. He's not driving. He's using his lights. And you're seeing what are these are demons who are walking in directed light. They're in large shadows, are moving across the car. They're stalking in light while the police are there in relevant position. They're monitoring. Okay, so I'm showing you what's demonic activity. All right, as I'm stripping down, you're looking at the elements of monitoring underway, doing so with kids. It doesn't matter what sort of body is used in the engineered light, it's activity creation, and it's demons that are pacing. 432VP, 7AWC 667, and those are the same demons that I captured in images under the fake sun monitoring right now, including Union Pacific, which is louder than the sound of the concert. That's impossible audible activity. This is asinine activity creation. 56253B3, 7JEN 464, 8FCT066. 8FTM357. Oh, I read that one already. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. License plate 7ZHG250. This is harassing by an entity that's monitoring with the Ontario Police, whose license plates and images I captured. 42183J3. And this is ongoing pacing. All right. This is upon exit at the Ovid Family Community Library. And it's 8:41 p.m. Where again you're looking at the still images, and those are demons that are pacing while they're walking past a surface, which is the Ontario Police vehicle, and they're in directed light doing so. Okay, these are this is demonic conduct while they're doing it with the police, and that's what I'm capturing in images. 7ZHG250, and it is currently 8:41 p.m. This is criminal summoning. They're engaged in criminal summoning while I'm documenting this. 8RZD270, 8VLY372. Gloria's Cochinas monitoring. You got demons in the parking lot aiming light, touching with what is, again, directed light, because your headlights are not what are creating that substantial light through the tinted windows of this vehicle that's driving on the street. Gloria's Cochinas is engaged in criminal summoning. 8KVY672. 5TQS003. 8LME264, 8S51204, 7GJE681, 68052L1, 8NEP930. 4WFY263, 8VEP879. They're all engaged in criminal summoning and molestation while they're stalking with the police. 8VYN673, I believe. 521YY handicap. 7KBG029, I believe. 8TVJ825. They're monitoring, stalking with the police and molesting at 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. This is the same 7-Eleven that was monitoring last night while you saw the Ontario Police Department flying in circles. All right, this is federal prison. The pattern of conduct is ceaselessly underway. License plate 8YJZ327, 8RCT822, 8XIV575, and they are still stalking on behalf and in concert with the Ontario Police Department and engaging in predatory conduct, keeping their headlights aimed at the door or in the parking lot facing. Well, of course, there's parking spaces that are already designed there for the property of 7-Eleven, but they are engaging in what is aiming light with the intent to engage in what is molesting one while placing them under surveillance. That's predatory, sexually violent. You intend to touch. That's the demon possessed that are stalking with light with the police. That's federal prison. All right, of a violent sex offender. CD963J9, I believe. Or you can scratch that one. I can't really see that one. This is P.O.C. I want to get these third parties because they're monitoring as well. License 7TKU350 and license 4KMM760. They're molesting together. All right, and they're stalking, surrounding, and and doing so while the entity is touching with light by that third party, who is, again, 7-Eleven is a part of all of that criminal act together. 7-Eleven, the company, is engaged in criminal monitoring. 7JMF 341, 6JRN 991, 4NLA 797. Woodside Senior Apartments is engaged in the pattern of conduct. They're monitoring. All right, this is the property that's in relevant position while you see the Ontario Police Department flying in circles in relevant position last night. The entity is engaged in ongoing aiming and directed light. Let me give you this demon's license plate. This is demonic, a sex offender, impunity, 8VOF 282. They're going to federal prison, all right? The demon-possessed engage in obsessive stalking while you document. They continuously engage in the pattern of conduct. This is Satan that is showing a determination to continue stalking you. License 5TJY 506 doing the same thing. Sitting in the middle of the street with their lights on, stalking in the path while the entity is engaging in all manner of light creation around while I'm walking down the street. Ooh, you're going to federal prison, girl. That's where you're going. All right, what you're listening to me tell is a demon that's stalking. The Ontario airport is a demon-possessed entity stalking by plane. Remember, while I'm documenting the Ontario Police Department, where's the Ontario airport flying planes? Right over the library, where Southwest Airlines is captured in those still images under the fake sun that remained at the same venue where I was present during the 8 o'clock hour this morning. The Ontario International Airport flying over the 280 North Lemon Apartments while the entity is keeping that fake sun. And while I am outside of what is 325 West G Street, where that third party is stalking at the intersection, where the entity is engaged in molestation with directed light, stalking on behalf and in concert with the police, the Ontario airport is flying right over the street in relevant position, which I captured in still images. She is going to federal prison, just like you hear me tell her. So that's exactly where she's going. You're talking about the entity that is in need of what is restraint. You're talking about medical restraint, straitjackets, and this is revealing what's the condition of a demon-possessed population. So like I said, the entity, you're talking about what it's building mental institutions to restrain those that are the psychopaths, as I'm showing you that obsessive stalking system that the entity is engaging in. And doing so while it is now, the entity is engaging in this on an ongoing basis, ordinarily where it's supposed to be concealed. You're looking at them engaging in it when it's not concealed. Okay, I have blasted the secret all over the internet, all over the world. And you're looking at what is obsessive stalking by a demon-possessed population and every iteration of that system that remains underway. It is currently 8:57 p.m. This is P.O.C. at what is 325 West G Street in Ontario, California. I'm in the vehicle where the entity is concentrating directed light, concentrating plane activity. Okay, the entity is stalking by the demon-possessed, the same agency. The Ontario Police Department are engaged in state surveillance, and the people of the state at outside of what is 630 North Fern. This is the venues who are in relevant position. 621 North Fern Avenue. All right, the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. Woodside Senior Apartments, the Tabor Professional Building, where the entity is engaged in surveillance, sitting in their vehicles in relevant positions, sitting in the middle of the street, stalking with light, crossing path, pacing all around, aiming directed light inside of the car, and aiming directed light all around on surfaces. This is the demonic pattern of what is also criminal surveillance, and doing so while the entity, a stalker, this is a government that's a stalker, the state that's a stalker, and the state is acting through the people. The people are in the shoes of the state. This is the state that's engaging in that criminal system of surveillance, and doing so while I am sleeping in a vehicle, and an entire government of people are stalking me while I sleep in the vehicle. That's what the Ontario airport's engaging in, stalking. All right, this is P.O.C.